I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's just get into it. Episode 1 of the Cohobeatz podcast. So for me, I basically had been doing music all my life. Well, from about 13 to 24 now. So the last, what's that, 11 years? I'm pretty bad at math, so yeah. But started for me, I started playing guitar at 13, for about 13 years old. And I did that really consistently, actually, from about 13 to, I'd say, about 16 to 17, 3 or 4 years. My biggest influences were Metallica, Iron Maiden, stuff like Leonard Skinner, Pink Floyd, just all the old 80s, 90s, mostly like 70s, 80s rock and heavy metal bands, stuff like that. I mean, that was my first love for music. Mainly Metallica. That was number one. I listened to so much Metallica back in the day, it was ridiculous. But so when I turned like 17, 18, it kind of shifted for me. I got more into hip hop and rap music. And I didn't stop playing the guitar, but I was definitely not playing it as much as I was from, say, 13 to 16. And I started like freestyling and rapping, and then like a couple years later, I started like writing my own stuff. And that really went on from probably about the ages of like 17 to like 22, 23. I would just like, I mean, I wasn't really taking anything serious though. I was just on the weekends when you would go and have a party and get drunk with your friends, you start rapping, freestyling. It's fun to do. And then sometimes I would like think about getting serious and like write some stuff, and like I always just knew I wanted to do music from 13 years old when I started playing guitar, and then when I was rapping, like, but I never knew exactly what it was. I never knew like what was the thing I was going to do. Like, am I a rapper? Am I a guitar? Like what, like I never knew what I wanted to do. But I mean, eventually, and not to make it a super long story, but I was working on the road on and off, and I was basically almost getting put into I was almost ready to just work construction for the rest of my life and just kind of just put music to the side as a thing that was never really meant to be, or something that I could never really truly pursue because it's just like impossible, right? But one day, when I say one day, this shit literally just like dawned on me. It seemed like one day, man. I was on YouTube, and for some reason making beats was always way in the back of my head. Like but I never knew anything about making beats. I didn't know how to make a beat, or what people needed to, how they even made beats, but it was something in the back of my mind like, oh man, that would be cool. But I just never really dove into it. So let's see, I was 23. I'm 24 now, so I've only been making beats for like almost a year now. But when all of this kind of dawned on me, I was anyhow, I was on YouTube, and I was looking up like people making beats and stuff like that. I don't even know how I stumbled across those videos, but I caught myself watching a lot of those. And specifically the one I watched a lot was a lot of you may know this person is Cohobeatz. And if you want to know the video that really kind of inspired me to just say, you know what, this is what I want to do, let me try it, it's The Art of Making Beats. It's one of his videos from about 10 months ago, something like that. Yeah, I've been making beats for 10 months. That video came out 10 months ago, so you can do the math. But, so I kind of I said, this is it. I want to do this. And I just kind of like earlier when I said one day, I just woke up and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I'm going to do it. I knew this is what I wanted to do before I ever got FL Studio, before I ever got like a MIDI controller or whatever. It's just, I saw what he was doing, well, like Kyle and people like that, like KBZ, other channels that people were making beats like that. I was just like, man, dude, there's nothing on the, you start from scratch, you start from nothing, and then by the time it's all said and done, you have something that you've created. And I mean, it's just music. It's just always what I wanted to do ever since I was 13, from playing guitar and then rapping, from freestyling and all that stuff. It's something about making beats tied everything together for me, and I just knew that was what I wanted to do. So I was working on the road, and I was making decent money enough to where I could just go on Amazon and, excuse me, what I did was I bought a $600 computer, which I'm recording this podcast on right now. I bought a MIDI controller, and I didn't know, like, I was so, like, unaware of all the things. Like, I barely even knew what FL Studio was. Like, I knew of it, but I started making beats on this thing called MPC Essentials, and it was so trash. Like, you had to, like, it was just so trash. Like, I did that shit for like 2 months, just like trying to come up with a way. I couldn't even make a full beat. I was just recording stuff from my MIDI controller that had the built-in sounds. I wasn't even using any plugins or anything like that. So when I was doing that, like, I did that for a couple months, and I was like, man, this just ain't it, man. I want to make a full beat, you know? So, eventually one day I was like, you know what, screw it, $300, whatever. You know, I probably should save this money, but I'm just going to buy FL Studio, or however much it costs. So I bought FL Studio, and when I say from that day on, it was like game over. It was like, I remember the first beat I ever made on FL Studio. I was actually in the library in town. I was doing some stuff that day, but I had like a little bit of downtime, right? So I just took my computer and all that stuff. I went into the library in there, put my headphones on, and I had just got FL Studio like the day before or the night before, but I hadn't really got to dive into it. So the first time I had seen so many tutorials and so many videos of people using FL, I kind of had like a grasp of how to use it. So I opened up FL and made like the shittiest beat ever. I mean, I'm sure, everybody's first beat is trash. But dude, I thought it was like amazing. I just thought it was so cool that I could pull something up. I could make my own melody. I could put some drums behind it. I could bring in the drums here and take out the drums there and add this melody. I just thought that shit was so cool. And like since then, that's all I've been doing is making beats. And like, this is what I want to do, and I want to do everything. Like right now, I've never done a podcast before, but why am I doing a podcast? Because I'm so much interested in beats. I just want to talk about beats. I want to make beats. I want to hear other people's beats. I want to watch people make beats on YouTube. Like I want to make my own YouTube videos of me making beats, which I haven't really got started yet, but I want to do. But like this is just what I want to do for the rest of my life. And if you're watching this, maybe not for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'll be on FL Studio when I'm 80 years old making a beat, but you know what I mean? Like, so like if you're listening to this and you don't make beats, or you do make, or whatever you do, like, we only live once. You don't get to do this shit twice. I mean, maybe you do, who knows? But like, as far as we know, you get like that, you get one shot. Like, you only have one chance to do what you truly want to do. So why are you worried about other people's opinions and like, why are you worried about what this person's saying, what that person's saying? And it's just like, dude, do what you want to do. Like, figure out. And some people don't know what they want to do. That's the problem for probably 80-90% of people, is they don't know what the hell they want to do. They don't even know if they want to do something like that. They just kind of like go to work and just like, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I mean, as long as you're happy in life, that's the only thing that matters. But like, I just feel like if something that you want to do, say it's music, say it's drawing, say it's starting a podcast about guitars or whatever the hell it is you want to do, just do it. I mean, whether you're 40, whether you're 20, like, and don't listen to me, go listen to Gary Vee. Like, Gary Vee really talks about stuff like that, about just going in what you're passionate about. And there's the other, if you want a really good podcast, go listen to the Cohobeatz podcast. It's a really good podcast. Curtis King, he talks about a lot of good stuff in his podcast. People like that have really inspired me to do what I'm doing right now. Like, I wouldn't be doing any of this if I hadn't watched those videos on YouTube, if I haven't discovered FL Studio, if I haven't discovered all these things. Like, I wouldn't be doing any of this, what I'm doing right now. But there's a path for me that I'm creating, that I'm trying to get to, and yeah, that's what I'm working towards. So if you listen to this far and you enjoyed any of it, wherever this is on, Instagram, YouTube, I don't even know what I'm doing with this yet, but give it a like, comment, tell me your thoughts, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. But I'm going to try to do some more podcasts, and this one was kind of like the intro, just to give you a little bit of background about me and my life and what I have going on. And peace. Thank you.